Okay, good morning, all of you. And in the yesterday's class, we have learned how to find the LCM and HCF of two numbers by using prime factorization method, and also some application, the relation between the two numbers, something relation we have LCM and HCF and the two numbers. Okay, so what is the relation? The product of any two numbers is equals to product of their LCM and HCF, isn't it? So for any two numbers A and B, product of those two numbers is equals to product of their LCM and HCF. Based on this also, one sum also we did. Okay, whatever it is. Now today we are going to discuss revisiting of irrational numbers. Revisiting means what? Once again we have to visit. That means something we have to learn about that irrational numbers in your earlier classes. I think you may forget in your 9th class, first of these real numbers is there. In that we have learned about the irrational numbers, rationalization, properties of irrational numbers. That irrational numbers is nothing but surds, isn't it? About all the things we have discussed, and recently also we have discussed what is meant by irrational number. What is the definition of irrational number? The number which cannot be expressed either terminating or repeating. Either terminating or repeating. That means, for suppose 3.12121212 up to so on. It is what? Non-terminating repeating decimal. This one we can express as 3.12 bar. And we know how to convert this in the form of P by Q also. That also we have learned in our earlier classes. Of course, in this class also we are going to discuss, no problem. That is, and some numbers 3.12, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something. This is what? It is not a terminating. Terminating means what? It should be stopped. 3.12. That's it. It is terminating. The decimal part ends. Here the decimal part cannot be ending. It is repeating. So it is not terminating. So we can convert it to P by Q form. This also we can convert into P by Q form. Whereas coming to these, we can't justify, we can't determine whether it is terminating or non-terminating. Repeating. So if in case it is repeating, which part is repeating? No, 1, 2 only repeating. 1, 2 only repeating means like this it will come now 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. At least 1, 2, 3 it is repeating. 1, 2, 3 repeating means 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it is not repeating, it is stopping. The decimal part is ending? No. So it is neither terminating nor repeating. When a number is neither terminating nor repeating, we can't express that number in the form of P by Q. Such numbers are called as irrational numbers. Such numbers are called as irrational numbers. And also we all know that how the irrational number, the combination of irrational numbers and rational numbers made up of real numbers. That also things we have learned, isn't it? Okay. And properties of irrational numbers also we have discussed in our earlier classes. That is not matter now. But here we are going to prove how the numbers are irrational numbers. Here we are going to prove how those are irrational numbers. Why it should be irrational numbers. The proofs we are going to learn in this particular class. Are you clear or not? So, and we know that root 2 is irrational. Root 3 is irrational. Isn't it? And 3 root 2 is also irrational. These are all the things we know. But in this class, how root 2 is irrational? That's what we are going to discuss. Isn't it? Now, but before that, just a small definition we will write it. Everybody you can write it now. Irrational number heading. Irrational numbers. What is definition of irrational numbers? The numbers which cannot be expressed, which cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q. In the form of P by Q, or the numbers which are neither terminating nor repeating decimals. These are the definitions of irrational numbers. The numbers which cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q, very simplest way. Or else we can express in this way also. The numbers which are neither terminating nor repeating. The numbers which are neither terminating nor repeating. Example like this: 3.1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to so on like that, and 0.1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, like this. And also root 2, root 3, 3 root 3, 4 root 5. These are all irrationals only. Understood? That's it. Is it? Now let us see how the root 2 is irrational, root 3 is irrational, how root 3 is irrational. These two we can know that how these are irrationals, because these are neither terminating nor repeating, so that we can directly say that it is a irrational numbers only. But how root 2 is irrational? We can't. Okay, let us see. That's one. How the root 2 is irrational? For this proofs, there are two methods actually. In the geometry, whenever you are doing geometrical proofs or theorem, something like that, there are two methods, there are two proofs, that is in direct proof and indirect proof. Direct proof and indirect proof. Direct proof means by doing directly we can say that, doing some mathematical logical steps. But indirect proof, that indirect proof is also called as method of disproof. Okay? How that indirect proof means? For suppose if you want to say, let us take some, if you want to say Naidu is a good boy, that is a statement I have taken. Naidu is a very, very good boy I have taken. For that, as I am taking the method of assumption or else the method of disproof or else indirect method, first I will take Naidu is not a good boy. I will take, directly I will assume that Mr. Naidu is not a good boy. But after research, after doing some observations of few days, his behavior, his attitudes, his everything, his how he is giving respect to elders, how he is giving respect to youngers also, everything after observation of some days, those are all are contrary to my assumption. Controversially I am getting. As he is not a bad, as I took he is a bad boy, how that he used to behave with the rude with others and some other, but everything is coming opposite way for my assumption. As all the steps are coming opposite way for my assumption, then what is wrong? My assumption is wrong. Is it clear or not? As my assumption is wrong, finally I will tell, okay, that is wrong, so that he is a good boy. This is called method of disproof. Are you clear? When I am telling, don't open the books and don't read the books. Close that. Are you clear or not? This is called method of disproof. In the same way, here also I am going to prove how the root 2 is an irrational by using method of disproof. Are you clear? So first is prove that root 2 is an irrational. Prove that root 2 is an irrational. Are you clear or not? Okay, how root 2 is an irrational? I am going to prove. See, I told you now. What I told you, we have to take negative way. He asked to prove what? Root 2 is an irrational. So I am taking root 2 is a rational. Let us assume that root 2 is a rational. After doing some logical steps of related to mathematics, somewhere we will get the contrary statement to our assumption. By the time we can stop it. Before that, I want to know the definition of rational number. I hope everybody know the definition of rational number. What is the definition of rational number? The numbers which can be expressed in the form of p by q. On the time p by q, where q not equal to 0 and p and q are co-primes. I gave you. P and q are co-primes. Co-primes means what? They do not have any common factors other than 1. They do not have any common factors other than 1. Is it clear now? Yes. That point you have to keep in your mind, everybody. Now let us see. Proof. How the proof? So first I am assuming, let us assume root 2 is an rational. Root 2 is a rational. What I am taking here? Root 2 is a rational. Are you clear or not? So when root 2 is a rational, it may be exist some number which is in the form of p by q now. As we have taken root 2 is a rational number, definitely it may be exist some number which is in the form of p by q. That's what let again root 2 is equals to p by q you can take. Are you clear? Root 2 equals to what we get today? P by q. Now squaring on both sides you can do, children. What I am doing now? Squaring on both sides. Here I will do by doing squaring, by squaring on both sides. What we will get? Root 2 whole square is equals to p square by q square. Am I right? Are you clear or not? And root 2 whole square means how much? 2 is equals to p square by q square. If you do cross multiplication, what you will get now here?
2q square.
Very good. 2q square equals to p square. 2q square equals to p square. Now look at here all of you. Here 2q square is there now. Something number is multiplying by some other number means it is divisible by this number or not? Here 2q square is there. As it is multiplying with 2, this product is divisible by 2 or not? Clearly we can tell.
Yeah.
If it is 7q square, that number is divisible by 7. If it is 5q square, that number is divisible by 5. Are you clear or not? So here clearly we can say that 2q square is divisible by 2 or not? Divisible by 2. Have you understood why 2q square is divisible by 2? Because it is multiplied by 2. 2q square is divisible by 2 means as 2q square equals to p square, these two values are equal now. When these two values equal, so p square is also divisible by 2 or not? So p square is also divisible by 2. Divisible by 2. Is it clear? When p square is divisible by 2, that means let us take, I am taking p square value is 4. It is divisible by 2 now. Then what is the value of p? It is also divisible by 2 or not? I am taking p square value is 16, divisible by 2. What is the value of p? 8. Root of 16 is how much? 4. So 4 is divisible by 2 or not? Yes. Now if you take p square is 9, is it divisible by 2?
No.
No, so that this type of numbers we can't. Only the numbers which are divisible by 2 only we can take. So clearly, hence p is also divisible by 2. I hope everybody understood these steps. Are you clear or not? 2q square equals to p square, leave it. 2q square is divisible by 2 because it is multiplied by 2. When 2q square is equal to p square, so p square is also divisible. When it is square is divisible, its square root is also divisible by 2. That means p is having a factor 2 or not? Are you clear or not? Divisible by 2 means it is having a factor 2 or not? Leave it. Now coming to this. So when p is divisible by 2, some number will be there, no? Let p equals to 2n I am taking. Why I am taking 2n here?
Because it's a factor of this.
Because it is
Divisible by 2.
divisible by 2. As it is divisible by 2, 2n I took. If it is divisible by 7, 7n you can take, no problem. Again squaring on both sides, do children. P square equals to 2n whole square. P square equals to 4n square. But p square is equal to something we have here. What we have?
2q square.
Shall I write 2q square in the place of p square? So 2q square is equals to 4n square. Then q square equals to 2n square or not? These two will get cancelled or not? Again 2n square is divisible by
2.
Are you clear or not? Directly, because we don't know this one. But this one directly we don't know. So here again the same steps you can write. 2n square is divisible by 2. So q square is divisible by 2. Divisible by 2. Hence q is also divisible by 2. Also divisible by 2. Here what is divisible by 2? We got it here.
P.
P is divisible by 2. We got it here. Here what is divisible?
Q.
Both P and Q are divisible by 2 now. Now here you can write it. Now otherwise as both P and Q are divisible by 2, so they have a common factor. They have a common factor 2. They have a common factor 2 or not? But according to the definition, P and Q should not have a common factor, no? As the rational number definition, both P and Q are co-primes. So they should not have a common factor other than 1. But after doing some steps, what we got the statement here? P and Q are having common factor. That means this is contrary or not?
Yes.
So this is contrary to our assumption. What we assumed here, we assumed P and Q are co-primes. They should not have any common factor. But by doing this, all the steps, we came to know that both P and Q are having a common factor 2. So that is negative or not? That is false or not? So this is contrary, means opposite to our assumption. When our assumption is wrong, so our assumption is wrong. Our assumption is wrong. Hence, root 2 is an irrational. Like that we can say. Are you clear or not? These are all very simple. What I took? First I took root 2 is a rational number. As per the definition, root 2 equals to p by q I took. Now I did squaring on both sides. When I did squaring on both sides, finally we got the statement 2q square equals to p square. These are simple steps only. Are you clear? When it is multiplied by 2, 2q square is divisible by 2. So p square is divisible by 2. Hence p is divisible by 2. Okay? Leave it. As p is divisible by 2, some number I took as 2n. P equals to. Again I did squaring on both sides. P square equals to something. After subtracting the value of p square, 2q square, that is finally here q square equals to n square. It is divisible by 2, so q square is divisible by 2, hence q is divisible by 2. So both p and q are divisible by 2, so as they have a common factor 2, it is contrary to our assumption. Hence our assumption is wrong. Therefore finally root 2 is an irrational. This is very simple proof. If you practice one time, then you automatically will get it. Got it? Come on, note down all of you. Okay, children. Now, let us have a small discussion about the combination of rationals and irrationals are what? Isn't it? The combination of when we are multiplying one rational and irrational, it is what? When we are adding or subtracting, something like that. Let us see. Generally, if you will take two rationals, 3 and another rational 2, 3 into 2 is 6. Clearly we can say that it is also rational. Product of two rationals is a rational. Now let us have two irrationals. Root 3, an irrational or not? And root 2 is an irrational or not? Root 3 into root 2. By using laws of indices, we know how to multiply this. Okay, root a into root a into root b equals to how much? That equals to root over ab, na? That means root 3 into root 2, that equals to root 6. It is also irrational. So product of two irrationals is always irrational. Shall we conclude that statement? Product of? No. Why? Here I am taking one irrational root 3 and another irrational I am taking root 27. Root 27 is also irrational because of there is square root does not exist here. Now let me know root 3 into root 27 how much? Root 81 only, na? Root 81 or not? So root 81 equals to how much?
9.
9. Is it an irrational?
No.
No. So here product of two irrationals we are getting as a rational. Here product of two irrational we are getting as a irrational. So it may be the product of two irrationals is always need not be an irrational. Is always need not be a rational. Sometimes it is irrational, sometimes it is irrational. So that is we will not consider that one as a property. But product of two rationals is always rational only. Okay. Now let us see in which cases those are irrationals, in which cases those are rationals. By discussing with some examples, I came to know that. Are you clear? We will discuss. Now, first of all, he will give you prove that 5 plus 2 root 3 is an irrational. 5 plus 2 root 3 is an irrational. Are you clear or not? So, if you want to prove that 5 plus 2 root 3 is an irrational, how it is? Let us. Here 5 is what? Rational. 2 root 3 is what? Irrational. The combination of one rational and one irrational. For this also, there is a common process, man. Same method of disproof only. Okay? How the method of disproof? As we are going to prove that it is irrational, we shall take rational. Let see or proof. Let 5 plus 2 root 3 is a rational. For our convenient way, don't take p by q form here. Some rational number, na? Let us a be some rational number you can take, no problem. If you want to take, you can take p by q form also, no problem. But here directly let us see. So 5 plus 2 root 3 is equals to a. I have taken that rational number is a. I am not taking root a. It is a only, so it is rational only, na? Now 2 root 3 equals to how much, children?
B.
A minus 5 or not? I am sending 5 to that side. Are you clear or not? And then root 3 equals to how much?
A minus 5 by 2.
For any value of a, as it is a rational, and that this value is a rational or not?
Yes.
But this is what?
Irrational.
How one rational will be equals to irrational? It will not be happen. But it is happen here. Why it is happen? Because we took a wrong statement. So that it is an irrational, like that we can write. Are you clear or not? Now here you can write small one word sentence you can write it. For any value of a minus 5 by 2 is a rational. A minus 5 by 2 is a rational, and root 3 is irrational. So one rational cannot be equal to an irrational. One rational cannot be equal to irrational. So this is contrary to our assumption. Therefore, 5 plus 2 root 3 is an irrational. Hence it is proved, you can write it. Are you clear or not? Here I took first rational I took. As it is a rational number, that rational number as here I have taken. And 5 plus 2 root 3 equals to a. Here I did something. 2 steps I did. What I did? 5 plus 2 root 3 equals to a. I sent this 5 to that side. 2 root 3 equals to a minus 5. And again this 2 also I sent that side. Root 3 equals to a minus 5 by 2. For any value this is a rational and always root 3 is an irrational. How one rational equals to irrational? It will not be possible. It is impossible. So that somewhere we took wrong statement. Hence it is irrational, we can say. Are you clear or not? Come on, note down all of you.